Richard didn't want to die, but he couldn't stop himself. The collision with the car didn't kill him, but he wasn't wearing a seatbelt, so he continued on his journey. When he hit the inside of the car, that didn't kill him either. But his internal organs carried on travelling until they hit his ribcage, and his lungs were punctured, and the main artery from his heart was torn. And that's what killed Richard.
Got milk?
Popstar was the worst movie in the history of the entire world. I can't believe that this movie is actually a movie. It was so terrible, I had to re-watch some important plot points because I couldn't take the dialogue seriously. It is so bad that the director and some of the lead and supporting cast have no more movie history listed in their IMDb's after this movie, including the lead opposite of Aaron Carter. Here's some history on Popstar. The movie was shot by Richard Gabet, French. We'll just call him Dick. The movie stars Aaron Carter, or JD, and Alana Austin, or Jane, as two high school lovers caught up in some fucking Pebble Beach bullshit, where Aaron Carter is some boy band fuck that is forced to go back to high school.
You're failing.
So what? I'm a pop star.
Well, it's tough love time, all right?
He falls in love with some ugly nerdy girl with braces that is actually a 20-year-old woman. Yes, the character opposite JD, who is a high school student, during the time of filming was 23, while Aaron was 18. This probably was an awkward movie to shoot.
Hey cutie, got a date for prom? I hate when that happens.
Me too. Anyway, the entire movie is just a complete fuckfest of douchebaggery. There's countless shots of rich and famous life, high school stereotypes, and upper class living. Besides the content, the characters seem miscast for their roles. I feel like some of these people are just Craigslist ad extras that the casting manager hired right before filming. Some of these high school students are obviously 20 to 30, while others are actually around 14 to 15, which seems more accurate, and I don't really understand that.
I don't know what I'm doing. I've never done this before.
Irregardless of the poor casting, you couldn't even relate to the characters. The whole movie is just a fuck you to normal people. There's nice cars, nice houses, white people, preppy white people, cars, nice houses, beaches, white.
I wish my boobs were bigger.
No, not that one, the other one.
The whole movie is just a show-off. I don't understand how any demographic could possibly enjoy this movie. There's no moral. There's no story. There's no plot. It's just a fuck you. So the beginning of this terrible movie begins with JD stepping out of his limousine at some sort of event. Immediately we see how awful and thrown together this movie is when JD brushes off the makeup lady in like 1 second.
Let's get with it.
How is that? Does JD know how he looks? Does he know that he has a fucking bowl haircut? Maybe the makeup lady should have stopped him there. Does JD know the ins and outs of makeup artistry? And when he steps out of the limousine, the manager has another extra to open the door for him. It's obvious that Dick was trying to portray early on that JD is some kind of celebrity, but it seems like the location manager had only booked this set for like 1 fucking hour. The whole thing just seems rushed and probably was a one-take shot.
Okay. Good night, guys. Love you.
JD continues to embarrass himself early on by trying to act like a pop star, but this is the scene that tops it all off.
Let's do it.
The introduction of this movie has already established the entire story. JD is a pop star. We could have looked at the box to realize that, and we didn't really need this terrible introduction that was probably post-produced or sloshed together after the movie was shot. And then this horror editing finalizes our horrible intro.
Is it? Yeah. Don't worry, you're gonna be great. You're gonna be great. Okay.
After the horrible intro, we get into a little character development. Jane is an obsessed girl who knows everything about JD.
I know everything about him.
Favorite
Favorite color,
color,
red,
when he
born
was
December
born,
7th.
And of course, that he is the youngest
Youngest
solo
solo
artist
artist
to
to
have
have
16 top 40
hits.
hits. These prerequisites qualify you to know everything about someone, believe me. Aside from this typical teen girl bullshit, we get to know that Jane is a complete fucking idiot. I mean, she's obsessed with someone that a 10-year-old girl should be obsessed with. Anyway, after this mediocre character introduction, the worst scene in the entire movie is played. Early on, when Jane misses the bus. This scene should have been cut out in its entirety. It is beyond me why the director kept the scene in the movie. I feel like Dick was secretly trying to destroy the future career of Alana or Anne or whatever her name is. I feel like this entire shot is purposely supposed to look bad to get the actress later in life, which is kind of dark when you think about it, but look at those boobies. So Boobs misses the bus and is forced to walk to school, establishing the fact that she's a fucking weirdo nerd girl, dumb idiot girl, in a middle-class white neighborhood who's forced to walk to school. At this point, I feel like Dick the director is trying so hard to relate to his target audience, but he doesn't understand who his target audience is. I mean, I wouldn't let my daughter watch this shit. Everything he's throwing at us about stereotypical high school shit is completely false and offensive in every way. Who is this movie trying to attract? Younger girls?
You awake?
They know the difference between a high school nerd girl, dumb bitch girl, nerd girl, and a 23-year-old sorta hot girl. Who runs like this? But I digress. So I'm gonna smoke a cigarette while you watch this stupid brace-face high school thing.
So how's the Abby wants a car fund?
Not too good. What'd your parents say?
My dad said that if I can get a car, he'll pay for the insurance, which means that I need to find a car for $411.77.
You hear that some super freak got a perfect score on their SAT?
Yeah, what a geek.
Probably some total loser with no life.
Sounds pretty accurate.
You're not a loser, and you have a life.
I know. A boring one.
So now after we've established some of the characters, we see a little more of Aaron Carter's horrible acting. Let me stress horrible acting. Look at Aaron swinging his arms around and walking like a total idiot. Why is he smiling at the beginning of the shot? What's there to smile about? I have a feeling that perhaps Aaron was like going through some mental breakdown where he was laughing and smiling and crying.
Probably some total loser with no life.
And screaming before this shot that led him to smile like a complete dick where he was supposed to walk into the next scene. I mean, editing is supposed to fix this shit, right? Everyone in the entire movie is
You have no
horrible.
idea how much the school sucks.
Homework now.
This scene should have been way different. First of all, Aaron Carter acts like a complete cock to his mom.
So what? I'm a pop star.
Well, it's tough love time, all
And
right?
teaches
more
kids that you
special
don't need to go to
treatment. You are going to
school.
be a normal kid at a normal high school.
You can't send me to a public school, Mom. I'm a celebrity. Pop star. Pop star.
He's telling us that pop stars are douchebags. He's hurting his own stock. I mean, if he had any say in how the scene was, he would have agreed with what his mom had to say. He could have inspired kids that being a pop star shouldn't get in the way of an education. But no, instead he acts like a complete kike and does the opposite.
No way. I'm just gonna go live with Dad in New York.
Oh, really?
Well, I'm gonna go make some beef fried rice in the corner here. Feel free to watch this stupid teen girl bullshit.
You expect to write a whole novel if you can't finish page 1.
I wonder if Jane Austen had this much trouble.
Write about yourself.
Who would want to read about me? Who would want to be me?
Well then, write a scary story. You're still afraid of the dark.
I'm not.
R2.
Besides, I like romantic stories.
But you've never even had a boyfriend.
I'm waiting for the perfect match.
I am so tired of that perfect match stuff.
A relationship with anyone other than your perfect match is bound to end in heartache. I mean, look at my sister. Ever since Tommy broke up with her, she hasn't come out of her room.
She was stood up at the altar on her wedding day, in front of everybody she knows.
She should have waited for her perfect match.
Mr. Perfect could walk through that door right now, and you'd start quizzing him on the Pythagorean theorem or whatever. Jane, you need to lighten up.
So here we have some more supporting actress development. Dick again insinuates that high school is terrible by putting these two 25-year-olds in the movie as hot high school bitches. These characters shouldn't have even been in the movie. They provide almost no support to the plot development. I mean, I guess the blonde bitch tries to eventually steal JD from the nerdy girl, but there's a bigger picture here. Dick is continuing on this path of telling his target audience, whoever that may be, that high school is horrible. There's shot after shot of high school stereotypes, and high school isn't like this at all. I don't understand why Dick made this such of an overstatement. What are we getting out of seeing this high school shit? See what I mean about this movie just being a fuck you?
Wanna go to prom?
And then we see more of Aaron Carter's horrible acting. I mean, it's just a fuck you to moviegoers as well. I don't understand how Dick can put these bitches who push some whitey nerdy girl down in the middle of everyone, and then have a scene where JD is getting his lunch stolen. I mean, if JD is a pop star, and people are fucking with him on day one, don't you think that someone would have said something to these stupid white bitches when they push the nerd girl down? But no, the bitches push the nerd girl down and JD gets fucked with.
Where'd my soda go?
While the white bitch is wearing a completely inappropriate outfit for high school. This movie's just a fucking mess.
They say I never knew which way I was going, but everywhere I go they keep playing my song.
What's your favorite scary movie?
So I'm gonna go over this next scene in advance, because it is so fucking retarded, I feel like I have to give you an introduction. So JD finds the nerd girl's notebook, and oddly, all of her shit in his locker. He finds her address in her notebook too, and decides to return it in person. I mean, I guess if you were a romantic type of weirdo stalker guy, you would do that. But a fucking millionaire pop star would never do this. But I'm getting off topic. Anyway, he shows up in his red sports car that is in every other scene in this entire movie, and upon ringing the doorbell, the nerd girl's prep girl little sister faints at the sight of the sexy pop star cock. So far, this premise is completely fine. But here's where the scriptwriters fucked completely up.
Hey cutie, got a date for prom?
After that completely inappropriate comment from Aaron Carter, he decides to trespass into the little girl's house, carrying her in his arms. This is so wrong on so many levels. First of all, he doesn't even know that this is the right house yet. He just decides to hit on the little girl immediately.
I hate when that happens.
And then enter the house with the little girl in his arms. What the fuck was he planning on doing with the girl? I can't believe this shit is even in the movie. I want you guys to keep in mind that we're actually only like 15 minutes into the movie itself, which is insane when you think about all the things that have gone wrong so far. It's hard to leave anything out because there's just so much of a mess. Anyway, we're finally at the point in this alligator fuckhouse of a movie where the main characters meet.
She fainted. Don't worry, happens all the time. We should keep her feet elevated. That'd probably be best.
My name is
Take your time. I'll come to you. Oh, I found this at school, and it had your address in it, so I thought I'd bring it back to you.
Where was it?
It was over by the lockers. I like this room. Looks just like mine, but doesn't have all the pictures of me on the wall. I like it, it's nice. It's cool, my kind of room.
Keep in mind what he says there. It's my kind of room.
My kind of room.
This is gonna haunt us later and fuck the scene up even more. But just disregard how weird of a comment it is for now. I know that the clip was excruciating to watch, but I want to point something really stupid out. I thought it was kind of funny that the design of the house didn't have a door included in the bedroom of Jane. Actually, I thought it was kind of creepy and unsexual. It's just a weird design. I mean, who designed this house?
Probably some total loser with no life.
So here, just watch the stupid second clip, and then make your own judgment.
You okay? Hey, sleeping princess, are you awake?
Here, I'll add some slow motion to add to the awkwardness. I don't really know how to fuck this scene up more than the director already has.
Definitely my kind of room.
My dad and my psycho stepmom are due back soon.
So JD stays for dinner and meets the entire white people family. You might recognize the flat-chested mother. She's in a lot of horrible movies. Oh, by the way, here's some pervertedness.
Dad's just saying that because he's been teaching at S period, C period, U period for a very long period.
Molly Havercorn got a period.
Here's some brace face.
Between song royalties, product endorsements, and concert revenues, he makes over $10 million a year.
In the words of your generation? Yeah, right.
And then after dinner and the following day, here's some unnecessary white bitch.
Don't enter anyone t-shirt contest. You never win. Geeks.
So the rising action tells us that JD and this nerd girl are obviously in some sort of love story shenanigans. But I swear, everything that JD says just makes me think he wants to have sex with her.
Why me?
I think you're special.
And do some cool math stuff.
Cool math stuff. You in?
JD, is this for real?
Unless you want a different color.
I don't understand why.
You needed a car. I wanted to help you out. Maybe someday you could help me out too.